Vlad, would you consider yourself a fashion icon?
I would say that I'm in training to be a fashion icon.
That's a
I'm not there
phenomenal answer. How well do you think, like, how good do you think do you think you have a good taste in MLB jerseys? You do have I've seen you have a Brandon Pfaadt jersey, so I'm going to answer that question for you. He does. What is the most unique jersey you own, would you say?
It's got to be the Brandon Pfaadt jersey or the City Connect Michael Toglia Rockies jersey.
Oh, yeah. So today,
that's a lie. I did lie. I forget how long ago it was. Probably 12, 13 years ago. I have a Twins Tyoshi Nishioka jersey.
Whoa, I thought
he was the next coming of like God, and he was in the big leagues for like 2 years.
That is super niche, man. I don't even know who that is.
I wouldn't expect you to, but
do you own any retro jerseys? Is the first question, because this video is we're going to be ranking retro jerseys.
Do I? I feel like I have in the past. None that that fit me anymore for sure.
Okay.
But yeah.
Well, we're going to be ranking these retro jerseys on a scale from A to F. Let us know what you think. This is going to get controversial because many of our most hated videos and shorts were on ranking jerseys. There are a lot of people that are very particular in their fashion sense, which I respect, but no, this is our opinion. We're also going to take 3 jerseys each. We're going to pretend that we're making John Boy Media money, and we can afford any jersey in the world, because when I was looking at these jerseys, boy, oh boy, the cheapest ones are going for like $179. That's a lot. And so we're going to pretend that we have enough funds to buy 3 jerseys. We're going to do that. First up, we're not going to give too much of a rationale, because I feel as if this isn't a fashion channel. This is a sports channel. And although we do love fashion here, and we would love to give you a breakdown, y'all probably don't really care about that. You probably just only care for the grades. This Randy Johnson jersey, this Diamondbacks, they got the teal, purple stripes. What would you give it?
I'd say A-. It's kind of iconic.
It is iconic.
In the World Series.
A- is fair. A- is fair. So we're sticking to A- there. Braves, the Hank Aaron Braves jersey. One large it so you can see it a little better. Hank Aaron Braves.
I'm personally not the biggest fan of it. I would say like C+. That might be hot.
C+. Okay. What if you can give like a one sentence as to why you're not a huge fan?
I just don't like the color combination. I don't really know. Just it's not really aesthetically pleasing to me.
Okay. We'll give it a B- then, because I was considering a B or a B+. So, for example, here's another question. Do you think the modern day Diamondbacks should try to rock this, try to bring it back into their New Jersey collection?
Yeah, I think pinstripes in general are just pretty cool. So
okay, how about the Braves? You think they should stay away? You wouldn't
want to. They have something like that for their City Connects.
They do. Yeah, we'll get to the City Connects pretty soon. And obviously, there are jerseys that I left off. I did some pretty extensive research on these jerseys, and I did my best also to try and avoid copyright, because MLB is very particular with their copyright stuff, and we're just trying to comply and review some jerseys. Orioles, this Cal Ripken Orioles jersey. What are you thinking about this?
I think it's pretty cool. I wish they wore like orange pants with it too. That would be pretty sick.
That would make it really good.
Yeah, but they don't.
Yeah.
So I'll say like B plus.
B plus. Okay. I was thinking A minus, but we'll roll with the B plus. I think that's good. We don't want to be too generous because there's some pretty cool jerseys here. This jersey, this Boston jersey, some of these teams are real boring. They never really branched out in their alternate uniforms, and Boston is kind of one of those teams that kind of just had similar uniforms.
Yeah.
What do you think about Boston?
Like C plus. There's nothing really like special about it, I guess. I mean, you could argue like the history or whatever, but yeah, I don't nothing crazy.
It depends because some people are a fan of the real simplistic style, but we'll give it a C. Chicago, they actually did wear these jerseys for a little while. What are you thinking about the Chicago Ernie Banks jersey, the light blue?
Yeah, I like these. I don't know what pants they wear with them, but if they were the same color, that would be pretty sick.
I think back in Ernie Banks' time, they wore the gray pants, but I could see them wearing the light blue pants.
I'll say like A minus. I like them. I'm a fan.
I'm on board with the A minus shout. Cubs. I think Cubs should introduce these jerseys back.
Yeah.
I think, as you can see, there's a lot of powder blue on this list. And I do think that powder blue works, but I'm more of a fan of powder blue when your colors are already blue to begin with. I'm not a big fan of teams doing powder blue for no reason.
Yeah.
This Frank Thomas White Sox jersey. What do you think about this? It feels like this one can get kind of polarizing.
Yeah. I personally really like them. I'll say like B plus A minus.
Okay, interesting. We'll go A minus because I was considering giving it an A.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I really like it.
I know, man, right? I really am a fan. I don't know. I think as bad as a franchise the White Sox are, they have rocked some pretty hard jerseys.
Yeah, at least they play in style.
Yeah. Now we're going kind of the Reds throwback. Not sure if you know any more better throwback jerseys that I could have put on here, but I put on the Pete Rose because it was kind of the most accessible one I could find. What are you thinking of this jersey?
I'd say like B. I think the pinstripe ones and the sleeveless ones were a little cooler.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one's a very like solid one, I would say.
Yeah, I would say B plus, honestly. This might be kind of a homer pick, but it just kind of reminds me, of course I wasn't alive for these days, but like the Big Red Machine, that was back when our team was actually good, and I would love to live in that time again. Yeah. This jersey, we'll go kind of quick through it. I know not everybody's going to like this jersey, but I think the design's kind of cool. What do you think? There's no way they would ever rock this in real life, but what are you thinking about this Jose Ramirez Indians jersey?
I would say A. I like the design of it.
I like the design too. I like the font. I'm not sure if
I was gonna point that out. Yeah.
All right. I couldn't find a good picture of this, but this is kind of like, I'm not sure, maybe like Todd Helton era Rockies. Yeah. I'm not sure you would say, but I think these are sleeveless jerseys from what I found.
They are.
What are you thinking about these? They don't rock them anymore.
Yeah, they're definitely different because they're not like everyone wore a shirt under them.
Yeah.
But I do like the look of them. So I would say B plus.
B plus, I think that's very fair. I don't think it's the A category, but I do like the black look for the Rockies.
Yeah.
And it is kind of nostalgic because the Rockies used to be a team that was pretty fun to watch. Next up, we got Tigers, another team that doesn't have a ton of alternate stuff, but was able to find this Alan Trammell jersey. What are you thinking about this jersey?
I personally don't love like the color combinations. I'm going to I'm gonna say like C. I'm just not really a big fan.
C. Okay, I was thinking like B minus, but I could go with a C plus. If we can find it, yeah, C plus. Question for you and for everybody listening: are you a fan of the name on the back of the jersey or just the number on the back?
I like the name.
You
I
like the
know
name?
there's like the whole thing about like play for the
Right. That's
but like these guys are getting like some guys are getting paid like 9 figures to play for this team. So like
yeah, yeah, yeah. um, uh, Astros. This is probably one of the more iconic
yeah,
throwback jerseys. What do you think?
A plus. Next question.
A plus.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I love these.
Okay. We'll compromise and go A. I was thinking you might roast me for this one, but I was thinking B plus. I know it's nice. I'm just not 100% convinced. Royals. I know they kind of rock something similar to this right now, but this was the George Brett era. What are you thinking about these?
Yeah, I'm doubling down on A plus. These are awesome.
Couldn't agree more. A plus. I love the light blue pants. Think they're awesome.
Yeah.
Angels. MLB The Show kind of first introduced me to these
Yeah.
uniforms. What are you thinking?
I hate to do it again, but A plus. These are
A
awesome.
plus. Wow. Okay. Looking at them more.
I love the logo personally, like the Angels
I
logo.
love the logo too. A plus. I love it. Yeah, A plus. So, okay, we're gonna go through it at the end of what you would buy. Brooklyn. I assume this does not give you your fourth A plus in a row.
No.
No. Okay.
I'd give it like a very solid B.
It's tough because like the Jackie Robinson era, but obviously there's some exceptions. But I'm just not a big fan of like the Brooklyn because they don't play in Brooklyn anymore. You know,
Yeah.
it's cool font. I'll give it a B minus. Marlins. These are jerseys that Zach really liked. I like them too, but what do you think?
Yeah, let's say A minus.
A minus. Okay.
The logo is pretty sick in my opinion. I don't really like the color though. That's just me.
You don't like the teal. Interesting. Wow. Okay. I'm a fan for what's worth. I probably would have given it an A. But
Yeah.
We'll go A minus. Brewers. They have a few throwback jerseys, but I kind of just wanted to point this one out because they recently rebranded their jerseys and they don't wear these anymore. And this is kind of the nostalgic era, I think you and me, of watching the Brewers. So what do you think of these?
I wish they never rebranded.
I agree.
I really like. I don't know if it's like the logo or what, but
Yeah, I know. It's kind of growing.
Like A minus to me.
I think it's an A. Honestly, this is probably going to be our most controversial take of the video because
I don't know. It's just like both logos, even the logo on the helmets there. Like,
yeah, like when I looked online, like there are some dudes who really, really dislike this jersey.
Yeah.
But I'm just a fan, man. I don't know. Twins. What are you thinking?
I love these. I guess this is like sort of a homer pick for me, but it's like A plus for me personally. I like the color, I like the logo. So
I think these are cool, and I think they should rock it. I'll compromise with you, and I'll go A minus. I was thinking B plus.
Yeah, that's fair.
Just because the Twins primarily aren't like a blue team. And I don't know. We'll get to the Cardinals, but I'm not a big fan of the Cardinals powder blue. But we'll see. Mets, what do you think about this? I couldn't really find a huge retro jersey from the Mets, but this is the best I got. Yeah. So what are you thinking?
I think like very firm A minus, if not A, I would argue.
Okay. You're a big fan. I know you like pinstripes.
Yeah.
Anything else pushing this jersey over the top?
I mean, the color scheme I like. So yeah.
I do like the color scheme. I'm gonna say B plus because I'm more in like the B minus camp.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't know. They're cool. I kind of want a big going away from the normal jersey.
Yeah.
Sometimes not too big, but like for example, I think that like the Royals, which is one of our favorite jerseys, is cool because the Royals don't normally wear powdered blue, but I feel as if the Mets, it kind of looks a little similar to the normal Mets jersey in a way.
Yeah.
So do you think it's a fine jersey though? Got the Phillies. These were the Pete Rose era jerseys. What are you thinking here?
A plus.
A
I would
plus.
say out of the like powder blues that these and the Royals are like way above everyone else.
A plus. I agree. I really like these jerseys. I know I'm contradicting myself by saying I'm not a big powder blue guy on the teams that aren't powder blue, but I feel as if they did it before the rest.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I don't know. I really like the P symbol.
Yeah. I think that plays into it.
I think it's really cool. Pirates, what are you thinking?
If we're going like just jerseys, I would say B. The hats though made them like an A, but we're not going off hats here.
Okay.
So I would say B.
I'll go B plus because I'm in the same camp as you. I think the hats make it a little bit more iconic, but I think we'll say B, but you associate the hats with the jerseys, so B plus. I'm fine with. Padres, what are you thinking here for these jerseys?
I don't really like the logo to start. I think like C plus.
It's weird. I feel as if we're going a little too easy on it, but I'll go B minus. I was in like the B minus range. I don't like the logo either, but I think it is unique that the Padres are brown. Like there are no other MLB teams that I can think of that are brown. And I'm all for like breaking, not breaking the color barrier. Sounds weird, but in the jersey sense, breaking the color.
Yes.
Giants got this Willie McCovey Giants jersey. What are you thinking about this?
B plus.
I'm right there with you. B plus.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting because the Giants, I believe they don't rock a black right now, black jersey.
One of their alternates might be, but it's not like all black. They have like white pants.
Okay.
I want to say they do.
Yeah. I would love to see them pull it back out though. Mariners. The Mariners also kind of recently rebranded. This one might be a little polarizing. What do you think about the Mariners jersey?
I think A. Correct me if I'm wrong, but like they had a sleeveless one during like the Griffey A-Rod years. That's like my all-time favorite jersey.
I definitely agree. I was considering putting that one. I just couldn't resist. My favorite player of all time is Ichiro Suzuki. So I have an Ichiro signed jersey at home. So maybe a little nostalgia. We're biased, but we'll throw it at A. Kind of wish another one where I kind of wish they didn't rebrand so soon.
Yeah.
But alas. Cardinals, powder blue Cardinals. What are you thinking here?
Like, it just doesn't really like fit the Cardinals. You probably agree, but
yeah,
like B minus, I guess.
B minus. I think that's fair. I was inclined to say like C, but it's not a bad jersey, really.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's why, like,
when the Cardinals rock it in real life, it looks good.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I'm all over the place. I'm contradicting myself with the powder blue stuff, but
I hate to interrupt this, but it's pretty important. The Blue Jays and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. have agreed to a contract extension.
Oh, nice.
So money is like unknown right now, but yeah, thought that the viewers would appreciate that.
That is very good. We all love a little interruption. So shout out if you're still listening, Vlad, with the dropping the information on us. Hope the 110 of you now or so appreciate that news. Yeah, good for the Blue Jays. We probably don't have a lot of Blue Jay fans that frequent this channel, but that's something that many Blue Jay fans thought would not be done. So
No, I didn't think it would be.
yeah, I didn't either. We haven't gotten to our Blue Jays jersey yet, so it's perfect. Tampa Bay, the Devil Rays jersey, Fred McGriff jersey. What do you think? Should the Rays bring this one back?
Yeah, I mean, I like the logo here. It's just like the crazy colored logo with white. It just something about it doesn't like sit right. So like B-, B.
B-, I think, is what I'd go with. I don't know. I'm a fan, but I'm not a fan at the same time.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah. Rangers are another team where it's tough to find a jersey for, like a throwback, but got kind of this Nolan Ryan throwback jersey. It's a little different. What are you thinking about this one?
This might not like make sense, but the font on the Rangers is like too thick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I was thinking the same thing.
So like C+, C. I don't really like it at all.
C-. You gotta. I was gonna say you gotta like lighten up the font a little bit.
Yeah.
Interesting. These were like the Joe Carter era Blue Jays. Would you recommend new Blue Jay for a long time, Vlad Guerrero Jr.? Would you recommend him rock one of these?
Yeah, I like the logo a lot and the font.
I do too.
I don't know about like the lining on the jerseys, the lighter parts, but I think they're pretty nice. I'd say like B+ maybe.
What do you think? Kind of having the circular logo just right smack in the middle.
Yeah.
Of the jersey. I think B+ is fair. I'm a fan. Now we got the Nationals have a few jerseys that I could have picked from, but I chose, obviously, I got like the powder blue one, but I was thinking there was a little too much powder blue on this list. But so I went with this father of Vlad Guerrero Jr., Vlad Guerrero Sr. Expos jersey. What do you think about this one?
I think it's solid. Like solid A-, if not A. It depends what you think of it.
I'm more inclined to. I was between A-, A, and B+. Gonna go A-. I like this jersey a lot. I don't think it's one of the top ones.
Yeah,
kind of all I'll say. And then we got the Oakland A's. What do you think of this jersey?
You know how I said that throwback Mariners one might be my favorite of all time? This one is like 1B. So A+. I love this jersey.
If there was an A+++, I would give this the option.
Yeah. Man,
shout out to Rickey Henderson, man. Rest in peace. Man, I really like the Athletics color code, and they really need to bring this one back.
Yeah.
I think. Legendary, I think. This is probably one of my favorite ones of all time as well. So if you were to purchase, final remarks for this video, if you were to purchase any of these jerseys, comment below, let us know what you think. But Vlad, you get to pick 3 of these jerseys that you would purchase. Tell me who you're getting and what name you're getting on the back.
I think the Griffey Seattle one is pretty easy.
Okay, yep.
And then Henderson Oakland jersey.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to see what. I don't think I'd get the Brewers one just because I don't like
Yeah.
them. But
Yeah.
I do love the jersey.
Yeah.
Oh yes, the Jim Edmonds or
Jim
I think
Edmonds.
Jim Edmonds Angels one. Yeah, 100%.
I'm the same. I'm going Henderson. I'm going Jim Edmonds, and then I'm gonna go with. I like George Brett, so I'm gonna go with George Brett Royals jersey. Let us know what you think. Thanks.